What's up, everyone? This is Cheyenne B, and you are listening to 5D Marketing Secrets Radio. So here's the real mystery. How do real spiritual-based business owners like us grow a large following of our soulmate clients who are begging to pay us for our skills and gifts? How do we increase sales and make a contribution while also making a killer income? That is the blaring question, and this podcast will give you the answer. My name is Cheyenne Burnett, and welcome to 5D Marketing Secrets Radio. Hey, you guys, welcome back to 5D Marketing Secrets Radio. I am so excited that you are tuning into this episode because it is brought to you from the UK. That is right. We were actually able to connect with Gemma Collins of Just Ask Tarot, and she's actually from Scotland. And we have been able to sit down with her and ask exactly how she has successfully taken a tarot business and it created her very own niche. So Gemma has some amazing advice on how to stand out with your craft, because we know that there's a ton of tarot readers out there, there's a ton of energy healers out there, there's a ton of astrologers out there, there's a ton of any modality you're trying to tap into as a spiritual business owner. And so Gemma and I sat down and talked about how exactly she has successfully taken tarot and turned it into her very own unique process and niche. And so she's got some great information, and she's been doing this a very long time, you guys. So she also has some really good advice on how to successfully run a spiritual-based business. So this is a really, really great and insightful episode, and I hope you enjoy.
So yes, hello from Scotland and hello from Trin.
Thank you again, like I said, for spending this time with me. I really just want to have a conversation with you and get to know you and get to know, how you've been able to develop the business that you have. So where are you from originally?
So I'm originally from a village in Ayrshire called Dundonald. Now the village is only 5 miles away from where I am just now. Okay. So this would be one of the closest towns. So there's 3 towns. There's Kilmarnock, there's Irvine, and there's Troon. So this is one of the closest towns. So I live from pretty much where I grew up. So I'm in the west coast of Scotland, right by the sea, in a place called Troon in Ayrshire.
I love it. It's so pretty. I've seen photos of Scotland, but never been there in person.
Well, you're always welcome. You're always welcome.
Don't say that unless you're serious. I'll get on a plane.
Yeah, I am serious.
Thank you. It is absolutely on my list. That in Ireland, because it's just stunning.
Well, you're welcome here anytime.
Oh, you're wonderful. Well, you are so amazing. I've obviously taken the time to get to research some of your stuff. How were you always into tarot, or for people that are listening to this later, how did you get into tarot? And is that your only spiritual practice?
No, it's not my only spiritual practice. So what happened was I used to go for readings actually myself before I was even 12.
Oh, wow.
I used to go to indoor markets, and I used to go to what was called fortune tellers, and I was just always really, really interested. And probably a lot of it was to do with my own self-discovery. So I got my first deck of tarot cards round about my birthday. It was my Christmas, but I was between 12 and 13. So my birthday was in the September, and then Christmas would be the December. So I would just be coming up on 13, and I got my first set of tarot cards. And that's when I started studying them. So that was like 28 years ago.
Wow.
So even to this day, I study tarot, and there's still so much more that I can use and learn. But initially, I'll be honest, it was to discover myself and understand myself better. And then, I just started going to development groups. I've got a couple of mentors who are a lot older than me.
Yeah.
And then it was only around 3 years ago, actually, that I had a problem with my main job. Now, I've always used tarot my whole life for business and for sales, so it was only about 3 years ago that I decided to put up a business page for Just Ask Tarot, because you know what? I've had to Just Ask Tarot so many times in my life for guidance and for direction. So that's where it pretty much came from.
Wow.
There wasn't any great big plan. You know, there wasn't any big plan apart from it was my hobby, it was my interest, it was my passion. And I had done readings for people for free over the years. And I thought to myself, you know, at this moment in time, I could possibly end up on state benefits because I had no job. And when I actually put the business up, it was just, I wasn't sure how it was going to go.
Yeah. Wow.
But there was not any great plan though or anything. It wasn't like, oh, I planned to do this and I planned to do that. It was just something that was my hobby, and I thought I should share this information with people. And then I decided to call my business Just Ask Tarot, and I don't regret the name at all. I actually love it more every day.
That's amazing. So you kind of just, it wasn't really a choice. You just kind of fell into it.
Yes. And you know the strangest thing? Years ago, when I was happy actually, and when I was a travel agent years ago, I was doing a meditation, and it was visualising yourself in the future. And I had visualised myself all done up like a gypsy in this tent doing all these tarot readings, right? And after the meditation, I was laughing because I was thinking I would love to do that. But I was very theatrical in this meditation, and at this meditation I would say I was around 22.
Wow.
When I got this visualisation, I've also had, a lot of people don't know that psychic is only psyche, and it's just about your mind, your body, your soul, your intuition. So it's not any great skill, it's one that we all have. And it's it's called a gut instinct. And it's just about working with that, and then working with a tool. Now, I don't connect with certain divination tools. So tarot's a form of divination. So, like, I don't connect with, for example, the crystal ball or certain other things like angel cards. But whereas I've really connected with the tarot. So just because I've connected with the tarot doesn't mean to say that you couldn't connect with the tarot.
Right.
So, like, it's not for everybody though. So ultimately it was about working in tune with myself, understanding myself with my interest, and then taking it forward. And that was developed before I even set up my business. Now, when I was going for all this training, I used to do that for my hobby, just to calm down, chill out. And I didn't know why I was getting all this training all these years ago.
Wow. So you didn't start your actual the tarot business until 3 years ago.
Yep.
Wow. And in that time, because you have several thousand people that follow you now, and you're world renowned, literally. I'm in the US, right?
Yeah.
And so how have you been able to build up a business with your skill and your gift that way?
Well, here's the thing. Although you may see the thousands of followers, it could possibly be double that, because there's a lot of people, married people, gentlemen, there's a lot of people that don't want anybody to know that they actually like tarot. When I put the page up at first, right, it was only a Facebook page, there was no website. And to be perfectly honest, I think that the first 1,000 people, I didn't really have to even think or look too hard, because they came to me.
Right.
From there, it's just been recommendations and referrals. And for example, I was on a cruise recently, and I was doing tarot readings in every country, and there's also people from Utah that became my very best friends.
Really?
Yes.
Well, you need to come this way, lady.
You know, so, you know, see, because it's my hobby, it's my passion, it's my interest, it doesn't feel like work.
Right. I love
Even
that.
Even in holiday, I've got followers from Miami, all around the world, because just they've met me on their travels.
Yeah. So you're constantly, anytime you go somewhere, you're talking about what you do, and you're putting yourself out there.
Yes. Oh, it doesn't matter where I am. It doesn't matter who I'm talking to. I feel so proud of tarot. But, you know, it's a very, very good business tool. So let me tell you about a wee secret.
Okay.
There is no such thing as fortune telling.
I love it.
It doesn't exist, right? You are in charge of your own destiny, and you're in charge of, like, you're in charge of you, right?
Right?
And the way tarot's split into, you've got 22 cards which will happen in your life anyway, and then you've got 56 which are split into love. Like it's bigger sections, but for the purpose of this call, I'll just tell you the 4 sections are kind of love and emotion, and then you've got creativity and kind of entrepreneurship. Then you've got money and investment, and then you've got kind of anxiety, strife, troubles. Now, there's basically 4 types of characters out there, and it's psychologically, there's a profile called disc profiling,
Okay.
which is DISC.
Okay.
So we all make decisions based on different motivations, and sometimes just to understand yourself and how you are, it means that you can understand other people. And sometimes we just don't get on, or we do get on, and that's as simple as it is.
Wow.
Now, in tarot, there's a lot of psychological profiles. There's a lot of history. There's a lot of religion. There's a lot of tradition. There's a lot of symbology, numerology, seasons,
Yeah.
elements. There's elements. You've got the elements of life. That you've got everything in tarot.
That is really interesting. I've noticed that because it has truly all the different forms of divination are represented in tarot.
Absolutely. And I could be on this video with you for another 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and I still couldn't possibly tell you. I'm only giving you a small snippet because what's suitable for one person, I don't need to sometimes go into all different types of things with other people.
Yeah.
My intention when I give anybody a reading is when they enter my space, whether it's physical space or whether it's over the phone or whether it's video call, my intention is to make that person feel wonderful.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Now I also believe that the past has been and gone. You can't change what you had for your dinner yesterday.
Yeah.
I set my intention to give that person the best reading I can for the future, and it's up to them then to take that decision, to take that choice, and to make those changes. Yes, some things may be predicted, but ultimately it's not a tool for prediction.
I really love that perspective. I've never heard it that way. I have heard it used as a tool for healing and a tool for guidance for sure, but that's a very unique perspective, and I actually really like that.
Well, that's the thing, because see, all the years that I was learning tarot, training for tarot, developing in tarot, I was actually using it as a sales tool.
Yeah, how so?
So because if let's say I decide to buy a car, right, I just buy it if it's red. I don't look at the fuel consumption, I don't look at the insurance, I don't look at the road tax, I don't look at any of these things, because I've already bought it, because that's the type of person I am.
Yeah.
Now, it's only disc profiling. So if you were going to buy that same car, you may have to know, right, how much is the insurance a year? How much is the road tax a year? What's the fuel consumption? Is it petrol? Is it diesel? Is it electric?
Right.
You may have different needs. So some people, they wish they could be like other people, or some people don't understand other people. Some people don't understand themselves.
Ain't that the truth?
But the fact of the matter is, tarot can help you understand yourself and others to live a better life.
That's amazing. What a very unique perspective. I love that.
So even though the business has only been there for me for 3 years, that's a practice that I've been practicing for in business for 20 years or more.
Right.
Secretly. And
Yeah.
in my own head, I would just be working out, what do I need to do to get this person's business? How can I solve this problem, this person's needs? Because everybody expects different things.
I could see that.
So it was never, ever, ever to sit there and suggest that I could tell the future.
Yeah.
It's so far away from that.
Yeah. I love that. I've always connected with tarot, and I can appreciate what you're saying, because I struggle personally with a lot of different people who go into works of divination because they claim those things, and I have history that says that I need to hold on to my personal power. And so anybody that's trying to say that they have certain control or put me in a place of I don't have a choice doesn't ever ring true for me. So I totally agree with what you're saying. 110%.
What I will say is there is a difference, okay? So let's say every single person with a heart and soul that's living and breathing has intuition,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Now, now I can work as a medium, but if you are, I prefer to work in this life here and now,
Mm,
right? Some people, they want to reach out and they want to work with spirit, and that's fine, right? But it's not
yeah,
for me. Now,
I love that.
I, I do get it at times, right? Now, if I've got a spirit message coming through, a spirit will never, ever, ever give you guidance. A
Mm,
spirit should only give you comfort or reassurance or evidence.
more evidence. I like that.
Yeah? Now, if I'm doing a tarot reading, I'll set my intention and I'll say it's not my intention to connect with spirit, and the reason for that is that tarot gives you the guidance to move forward in this life.
Hmm.
It's not my belief, right, that we should be contacting spirit.
Interesting.
Now, sometimes when I'm during a reading, I've got nothing but spirit. And that, I don't hold that back. If I've got a message that I believe that's going to bring comfort, that I believe that's going to bring joy, then I pass over that message. But you know something, I believe that the spirit should rest in peace.
Yeah.
And that's when I sometimes think there's a lot of readers out there, and I'm not going to name and shame anybody, but they're making a lot of money off a lot of vulnerable people who, listen, see twice in my life.
Yeah.
I've, I've been for readings twice in my life where I was given guidance, information, and advice that I shouldn't have been given, and to which I've made big life decisions, and as a result, there's been consequences. Now, had I not had these readings, I maybe would have made different decisions. So when I'm reading anybody's tarot, I'm very responsible to think that these people could be in a vulnerable position, and I've got to also watch how much I influence that person's decision.
I love that. I can speak to that myself. I had a reading done some time ago that I had a similar experience with, and I can look back at that and go, I definitely would have responded differently had I not been told this is what it is.
Yeah.
And so I agree with you.
So
That's,
some people know in their heart and they know in their soul what's actually going on.
mm-hmm.
That's not for me to sit and tell them that.
Yeah,
What I believe my job through tarot is to do is to powerfully uplift them from that place to move forward.
I love that. I think that that's a beautiful place because we can still, people like me who love to get our cards read from somebody like you, can come to you when we need support and love, but we don't need you to tell us how to live our life or how we should handle the hardship. It should be more of a comforting space.
It's see, because tarot has been such a big part of my life,
Yeah,
people in general don't even know what it is.
right. It
Yeah,
surprises me.
and that's why I was wanting to connect with you to do this video as well, because I'll use this for advertising purposes as well. And people don't understand that it's not fortune telling, and it's not me predicting their future, and it's not anything like that. It's possibly, if you ask me, every single book which is self-help, every single book which is leadership, I believe I could relate it somewhat to the tarot.
I can see that. I love that.
And not only that, I
Yeah.
mean, tarot dates back to like the 1400s.
Right.
So like, there's a lot of stuff that kind of, it's genius stuff. Like, who even thought about this and how's it going to work? I mean, it's absolutely magnificent. But in a general reading, I don't need to tell people that that's what tarot is and that's what tarot's about. My job is just to say, right, let's set the intention, let's positively work through what we have, and let's get you feeling better. And I'm not a doctor, I'm not medically trained, I don't give advice, I don't I'm not a counsellor. It's supposed to be a form of entertainment, although I take it a little bit more serious than that.
Yeah.
But ultimately, people say to me, Gemma, your readings are very cheap, or, I've priced my reading at what I would expect to pay if I was going for a half-hour reading. And believe me, I have been for hundreds of readings,
Yeah.
And there's some readers don't like to read me, and that's because they're insecure in their reading ability or skills.
Right. That's interesting.
And
That's really
and
interesting.
and I absolutely love giving readers a reading because I know that they find it difficult to read themselves.
Yes. That's an interesting concept, that you go and you practice your craft for others, but then you have others practice the craft for you. That's brilliant.
Absolutely. I wish I could find a reader like me.
Yeah, no kidding. That's
Yeah.
amazing. I've talked to tons of different readers, and you're the first to have ever had this kind of perspective. So I'll let you know if I ever find another you, but you seem very unique.
And I think that's why I'm successful, because the success, as I say, that you see in Facebook is only half the success that's there.
Yeah. Right, and that's a ton of success. On any normal account, what you have right now is considered great success, and that doesn't include anybody that's following you in any other platforms, any of your email list, anything like that. And so absolutely. Which actually brings up another question. You were talking about how you transitioned from working a corporate job and into owning this business. And what kind of trials did you experience in that process, because it was kind of something that you were already experiencing hardship? What trials did you go through starting your tarot business that actually set you up for success later?
I'll be 100% honest, it happened naturally.
Yeah.
I've actually, the more I think about it, the more trials that I have, because I'm already thinking about it. When you just put it out there, what you're like, this is what I believe, right?
Yeah.
If you feel passionate about something and you've got all the skill, let's say you're a magician, you've got all the tools in the box for yourself, right?
Right.
It's about working with that. Now, the right people will come to you. And at the moment, I've been self-employed for 15 years, and I have been only on commission for 15 years. Now, I'm finding it difficult when I go for proper jobs, right?
Right.
But this could be the universe just pointing me to where I need to go, to what I need to do. And I'm actually I'm considering writing a book about how tarot can be used for selling to close deals, because all these people are reinventing the wheel, if you like, but the wheel was always created.
I would totally read it. I would absolutely read it.
The thing is, I'm better at the speaking than I am the writing.
Well, and that's something I've coached tons of my clients to take recordings that they've done, or just talking about their subject matter, and just getting it transcribed. So you could just talk and teach about the subject of it, and then transcribe it and turn it into a book. That might be easier than trying to sit down and write it all.
When I am a tarot reader, right? So, like, my name is Gemma Collins. I'm still Gemma Collins. When I'm a tarot reader, I'm actually inviting mostly people that are not in a great place.
Yeah, they're searching for support and guidance.
It would be quite good for me to attract people that are already in a good place, that want to be in a better place.
Right? That makes sense.
Because that would be a different energy all round.
For sure.
Now, recently I was employed by a massive drinks company to, give readings to the full team, and it was really, really different energy. It was corporate, so that had gave me a little insight of the direction I'll be going in next, which is all to do with team building, morale, increasing the morale in the workplace, and more corporate business.
That is so interesting.
So that means that, like, say 9 out of 10 people that come to see me just now, they're in dire straits, they don't know what to do, they believe I have the answer. Now, if I had the answer, I wish I had the answer for myself. But I certainly can help people. If you look at my reviews and feedback, I can help people get to where they need to go, and I can help people feel amazing. When anybody hands me over money for that reading, as I say, my intention is to just make them feel marvellous.
Right.
If I was going to do a reading for, say, in a business situation, and it's a team of colleagues of 8 to 10 people, then that would be great, because then they could understand themselves and others better, which then could increase the morale in the team. But also, if they were salespeople, I could give them very basic information that could help them understand how people make decisions.
Yeah, that's amazing. What a unique perspective. So you've really taken what is for lack of better term, a widely used tool of divination and turned it into a tool that is not typically used in that space. And that's amazing.
Yeah, that's the thing, because see, for me, until 3 years ago, it was only used for business privately.
Yeah.
So I would be going to, I've got like one main mentor. I've got a few different coaches, but I've got one main mentor, and I had went through like a beginner's tarot course, then like kind of intermediate, then advanced, then masters, then, I'm always listening to books. I'm listening to history books about the tarot, and, till the day I die, I'll still be learning about tarot.
Right.
I don't think there's any great big finish line and saying, right, Gemma, you don't know anything else. There's nothing else that you need to know because you know everything about tarot. That's not the case. It's a lifelong, massive learning journey.
Yeah. Which I can respect and appreciate for sure. You should always be growing and bettering your craft. Especially
I mean, I still have, I've got coaches for myself personally.
yeah.
I've also got, I'm also committed to self-development. And, I'm 41 years of age just now, and I still feel as if I haven't even touched the surface of knowing myself.
There's no way. I thought we were better friends than this. You just lied to me. You are not 41 years old. You're full of it.
I only feel 22.
I believe that. That's more in line with what you look. That's fantastic.
I was away modelling today, so this makeup's not my normal makeup.
Oh yeah. Well, you look beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. Well, that really stands out to me too, because you just pointed out that you're always growing and you're always evolving. And I think that that's really important, especially as things change, right? I mean, we've over the last few years, tarot and other forms of divination and spiritual practices are becoming more available online, and that requires a lot of growth too.
But something, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, because I can hear some people giving messages out and they don't know if they're given from spirit, they don't know if they're here, there, or everywhere, and I can see them not clearly, intentionally setting, what is the end message, what is the end goal. But there's a lot of people that are all over the place, and I sometimes think, what kind of energy, and I can hear people giving advice and information and what they should do and what's going to happen, and especially to do with negativity, and I think, don't invite that into your life, don't even think that.
Right.
Like, so sometimes I find it difficult to listen to other people because I just think, in my opinion, that's not correct.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes
But
sense.
there's also, it's like going for a steak, there's a lot of good steaks to get, you don't always fancy a ribeye, or you don't always fancy a fillet, so at the end of the day, I believe that I will attract the clients that are right for me, and vice versa.
Yeah, that's really important, because up until recently, you've had a very specific person that you've attracted. You've attracted the typical person who is interested in tarot for guidance, and now you're kind of shifting your niche. Are you running into any hardships as you try to make that transition from one niche market to a totally different market?
I'll be honest, I was really disappointed recently. I decided to do, if you share my page, I will give you a card.
Okay.
So I had spent 13 hours giving people free cards, and then one person gave me a bad review.
Really?
Yes. Now, they hadn't even had a reading. And what happened was, I had added them as a personal friend as Gemma Collins, but it was so that I could send them their card through Messenger.
Yeah.
After they received their card, I deleted them because I'm sure they don't want to see where I've been on holiday, right?
Right.
And I'm also not interested in what they're doing, because see, from a psychic's point of view, it's really better for me not to know anything, because then I'm not judging.
Yeah.
Because the way your psyche works, it feels like, it's kind of, it comes to me like I get all my messages kind of telepathically. Now, if I'm looking at somebody's Facebook and already see they've got 2 children and a dog and they go on holiday to wherever, then I'm actually better if I don't know anything. So I had added them on Messenger, let them get their free card, taken them off Messenger. But then the next thing, they've given me a bad review because they said that I abruptly deleted them, and that wasn't ever the case.
Yeah, interesting.
So that's really disappointing, because that's when I decide to do anything for free, it actually gives me more hassle than it's worth.
Wow, that is great advice in its own account. So for spiritual
Yeah.
practitioners,
Like,
so
and I couldn't even reply to that girl, because all of a sudden she's on my page giving me, she doesn't recommend me. Now,
yeah,
she doesn't know that that's my business. She doesn't know that that's my income stream. She didn't even get a full reading. And
yeah,
just because I've added her as a friend and taken her off as a friend, now what I would maybe do in hindsight is say, listen, I'm going to add you as a friend so you can get a card, but then I'm going to remove you, right?
right. For
And
that
feel,
reason, so that it
and
doesn't affect what I can how I can serve you, kind of thing, right?
exactly, but maybe I could have been clearer. I've learned from that, because then I had to stop doing the free card. So, because I actually thought I've just spent 13 hours there of time and giving out my service for nothing to give people a sample of what tarot really is. And then I felt as if I got a big slap in the face. Now, that was really recently. So that was in the last couple of months.
Yeah,
I kind of went in the huff about it, because I was like, right, I'm not doing anything again. So now what I do is, if you share my actual page, then every Sunday I will choose somebody that will get one free reading a week.
oh, that's awesome. So you're incorporating your community still, and you're still giving back free readings, but you're doing
Yeah.
it in a little bit more controlled way.
Well, sometimes with Facebook, you don't know who's shared.
Yeah.
So, with Facebook being my main business platform, I
Hmm.
don't want to upset the energy there.
Right.
But so let's say I've got 15 people share my page, but I can only really see 5 people, or I can only see 10 people. Then I would then choose now one of the 10 that's going to get a free reading on the Sunday.
Yeah.
Now, on that Sunday, I'll send a message saying, right, these are the winners this week, these are the winners last week. But there's also sometimes I'm drawn to give somebody a reading for nothing, just randomly.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the biggest disappointments, was that feedback after building up such great feedback, to receive that. Especially when the person actually hadn't paid me for the service, didn't have a full reading. I just was like shocked.
Yeah. No, I think that's great because you're still engaging with your community and you're still giving back, like I said, but you're not giving up so much of yourself that if something goes wrong, it's this huge devastating blow to your time and your business. So I think that's really intelligent. It's crazy.
I've got to still breathe it in and breathe it out, because you can't please everybody all of the time.
Right.
At the end of the day, what I would say is that's a very unhappy girl to do that
Yeah. No, absolutely. It takes an
to anybody's business. It doesn't matter if she has an Empire biscuit that she didn't like. She didn't need to go and publicly slate the baker. you know, like, like it doesn't matter what it what it is or what it was. Anyway, that's negative,
right.
right?
That's
That's that is one of the only disappointing things about having the online business, is the reviews and feedback. So all that I hope is, like, there's hundreds of people out there that have had readings, but they'll never ever put a review there. But what they do is they give me a recommendation, and
yeah.
so on and so forth.
I love that. So is it part of your normal business practice when you do a reading to ask them to refer somebody to you?
No,
No. How do you get referrals? Just naturally?
because that person has been, like, I've done a good job.
Yeah. Yeah. So you just let them do
Yeah.
it at their own account. That's
If you go for that good steak, or that good Empire biscuit, or that good hairdo, you don't have to ask people to spread your name, because it just happens naturally.
yeah.
But it's really interesting, because other psychics will say, let's say I've got 2 or 3 friends that are mediums, and they only work with spirit, so they don't work with here and now, they're working with spirit all the time.
Yeah.
So if they come across clients as well, they say, something, I'm not the reader for you, you need to go and see Gemma. I have a friend that's a very, 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 very big comedian in Scotland,
Mhm.
and I do all her readings for her, and I met her before she was a comedian,
Yeah.
and she's super psychic, right?
Really?
Now, what she did was she shared on her page, if you want a frank and honest tarot reading, then you really need to go to Gemma, right?
Yeah.
So she says that there's certain times in your life you need that cuddle of pinkness. Don't come to me if you want a cuddle of pinkness, because I'm going to be pushing you forward with a lot more force and energy.
I love that. You're in it for the truth and and the reality, not for glitter and unicorns.
Yeah, it's like I've been putting on weight recently now. I'm not going to turn around and say it's the winter. I've been eating too much. That's the size of it. Right? Like, don't wrap it up. Don't say your clothes are shrinking.
Right.
Don't say you're big boned.
Just
Like all
be
these,
honest.
we tell ourselves so many lies. One
Right.
thing that I would say is, I went on a course for happiness.
Yeah.
I spent about £1,000 on this course, right?
Really.
Now, after the week, I discovered that happiness, right? Do you know what happiness is actually yourself?
I know what my definition of happiness is, for sure.
Good, I like that, your definition, right? That was good, right? You do know what I said. Right, so basically, when it comes to the end of every reading, and I say to people, have you got any questions? Da 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 da, right?
Yeah.
Everybody always says, am I going to be happy?
Yeah.
Now, happiness to my friend could be a bottle of wine, and happiness to me could be a cake, right?
Right.
Happiness is simply wanting what you have.
Right. Oh, wow, that's beautiful. I love that.
That's all it is. I spent all that money and all that time learning, and it's wanting what you have. And see, when all these guys are out there cheating, or women are cheating, or people are taking drugs or drinking, I feel they're just all dead lost.
Yeah. I can
So
see.
happiness to me is still some cakes and a cup of tea.
Yeah. I love that. That's perfect.
But happiness to you could be a glass of wine.
Right.
So it's about not comparing ourselves to others. It's about, back to what I was saying. I don't want to go off on one right about happiness, but most people that come for a reading from me, they're not happy. And sometimes I can just point out some certain things, and then they just go away thinking, wow, that's so
Yeah.
simple.
Right. It's a very simple perspective. Then when you
Absolutely.
focus on it, it creates such grounding. I love it.
Tomorrow, I'm actually attending a leadership workshop tomorrow because I have to continuously work on myself
Yeah.
and also my self-development. So tomorrow I'm actually attending a workshop for a full day, and I think going on December, and that means I'm going to positively be setting my affirmations tomorrow as to what I'm doing going forward, because you know something, I don't want tarot to be 100% of my income or what I'm about.
Yeah. Interesting. So you're
No.
even looking to expand your gift and your skill set.
Well, it's about, how do I position myself? How do I place that? How do I grow? How do I earn the money that I want to earn? And how do I keep myself happy and
Yeah.
also attract the correct energy to my life? So I've got another coach tomorrow,
Yeah.
and that's a one-day workshop. But like, just because I give all these, I mean, what I'm constantly doing is I'm constantly making myself the best version of myself. I'm constantly committed to excellence of myself. Now, sometimes I can slip financially, or slip with my weight, or slip with relationships, because we're all not perfect. But
Right.
what to do is, like, see, tomorrow I'll be putting a big focus on, like, what am I doing? Where am I going? And some people say to me, Gemma, how do you do that? And it's daily practice. It's like you can't just get up and be amazing.
I love that. Something that you've said throughout this conversation that has really stood out to me is the concept of a mentor and a coach, because you have a lot of them. You have different people that you lean into, and
Mm-hmm.
constantly growing. So do you think that has been a huge piece of your success, is constantly reaching out to experts in the space that you need help with and learning?
I have a friend. I have a friend that works for the BBC, right?
Okay.
Now, that's a big Scottish television company right now.
Yeah.
I've been asking her, like, recently I've been going for these jobs and I've not been getting them,
Okay.
right? So I've had like 12 interviews recently and I've not got the job.
Interesting.
So I'm just like, oh my God, like, so I was then sitting doing interview techniques with my friend who works for the BBC, right? And she's like, Gemma, you're just one of a kind.
Ain't that the
Like,
truth?
so because I'm very together and very focused and very understanding and working with the psychology and working with intuition, a lot of people, if they're not together in their own self, they could find that intimidating. So,
Yeah.
when I'm not getting all these jobs, I shouldn't see that as a negative. I should see that as, right, what am I supposed to do and where am I supposed to be? Because the fact is, if I got the jobs, I might not fit in anyway.
Right. That's true.
So So I would say that I've got a good 5 coaches that are all friends.
Yeah.
3 of them, that's their actual job,
Mm-hmm.
right? One of them is my best friend who's just always been my coach my whole life.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, like, see, everybody you meet, I mean, I was modelling today and also Monday. I met, say, in the region of 20 people. Actually, they're all coaches as well.
Yeah.
Because you're learning all the time, and people don't even know. Let's say they've not got a qualification, right? Oh, I'm a coach. You listen to other people, and then you have conversations. And like today, I was asking this guy. This guy said to me today he had a black soul, and I said, "How do you know?" And he says, "Well, I just know I've got a black soul." Now, I wasn't talking about tarot. For all he knows, he doesn't even know what I do for a job, right?
Wow. Yeah.
He's a male model, right? He's actually a professional model, right? So he says, "Oh, I've got a black soul." And I'm like, right, okay. So I says to him, "Well, where is your soul?" So he says, "I don't know." I says, "So what size is it?" He says, "I don't know." I says, "What colour is it?" He says, "Black." I says, "No." I said, "When you go to your bed tonight," I says, "what to do is you just ask your body where on earth your soul is, what size it is, and what colour it is." Now, that man was fascinated with me for the full day.
Right.
People spend hundreds and thousands of pounds trying to find this answer.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes they just need to ask their own soul.
I love that.
Do you know where your soul is?
It is.
Where is it?
It lands right where my heart chakra lands.
What colour is it?
It's green, but a very emerald green.
And what size is it?
It depends on on where I'm at emotionally. Usually, it's medium sized, but I can get very big. Or if I let other people have my power, it can get pretty small. So it fluctuates.
So that's amazing, because at least you know, right? Well, there's a lot of people that don't know. Now that takes me on to the other part, because I'm actually I will qualify in January
Okay.
to be a spiritual healer.
Wow. Really?
But that's totally separate from tarot, so I don't want to talk about it on this course, right? On this course. I think I'm on a course. Right.
Right.
I'm not going to talk about it on this call, but it's a totally different subject. But what happens is, see if I combine all that soul work with all the tarot work, that's the combination of just magnificence.
That's brilliant. I've talked to, I've worked with energy healers and Reiki masters and people who do different forms of divination, and a lot of them combine those. How are you going to do that? Because you have such separate expectations for them. So because this is a new venture for you, how are you bringing that into your existing life professionally?
I am not bringing it into the tarot side.
Not at all. You're doing it completely separate.
That will be used for myself,
Okay, okay.
because after some readings I can feel low, or I can feel the energy.
Yeah.
The full spiritual healing is all about, for myself, and like for who I choose. That's never going to be used as business. However, it can only make me a better reader. It can only make me more understanding, because that's another part of the development that I'm going through.
I love that. So you're actually diving into other skills and other gifts in order to better yourself so that you're better for your craft. So you don't
Yes.
help people the more you grow. That's perfect. I love that.
Yes, and it was through coaching that I discovered that because some people can describe what they kind of want to do, but they don't
Yeah.
know how to do it. So that's how I'm doing that. Yeah.
Wow, I love that. Very cool. Very cool. Well, we've talked about, where people can find you, and it seems like Facebook has been your big where most people gather, but what other platforms do you use to help your soulmate clients find you?
So I would use the internet, and also I would use leaflets through people's doors. I would give out cards. I would leave cards. You know, when you go into businesses and there's all different business cards there. So basically anywhere that I go, I leave my cards, I leave my leaflets, I leave information. And I would say, to be perfectly honest, I wish that I had started off more on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't have a presence on YouTube. So going forward into the next year now, there's people that sit down and they do cards for everybody. I think that you need to choose your cards. I think you need to set your intention. I don't think you can just start doing cards out to the universe, right?
Yeah.
Like, So with the YouTube channel, I might section down, say, about 30 different subjects and talk about how tarot can be used. And then you might say, right, how can tarot be used for an interview, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't know, because I can't get past these interviews, but like, you know, I could be given a, you know, like I could say, I may make a plan of 30 different subjects to talk about how tarot, and then create something different from everybody else, because everybody's saying, oh, the Ace of Cups means this, the Magician means this, the Fool means this. I might say, no, guys, let us get into character, because sometimes I think about what would Gemma Collins do, and then other times, right, I think, what would the High Priestess do? What would the Chariot do? What would the Queen of Cups do? And see, when I decided to call myself the Tarot Queen, it's because there's 4 queens in tarot, and I'm a little percentage of them all.
Really?
So the Queen of Wands is not going to do the same as the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Swords is not going to do the same as the Queen of Pentacles. So it's about getting into that character and making that decision. So I might do my channel all about getting into character and what that would feel like.
Yeah.
So, like, where would the Queen of Cups go on holiday?
Yeah.
What would she have for a dinner? What kind of clothes would she wear? Like, there's so many archetypes and there's so many characters, there's so much energy around the tarot. So what I might create my channel is, I don't believe anybody's done this, so don't anybody be stealing it, right?
Right? So, get on it. Start doing it.
Yes, I know. So what I might do is I might go through the different characters, the different energies, like what kind of hobbies do they have? Like, the 4 different queens are not going to do the same hobby.
Yeah.
So, like, just things like that. So, yes, I don't know if I'm even answering your question. I'm way off on a tangent.
No, you are. It's perfect. I love the creative mind, because you're expanding. So it's perfect. I love it.
See another thing, right? See another thing. Actually, sometimes if I feel anxious or nervous, see, as soon as I get into a reading, it just takes that all away.
Really?
So tarot's good for mental health, for my own mental health.
Yeah. So I know you go to readers to have yourself read. Do you use your tarot as a way? Is that what you mean? You read yourself too to create?
No, I don't usually. I find it really difficult to do my own tarot cards.
Yeah.
What I've got to do is, like, see if I'm not feeling great personally myself, see if I do a reading for somebody else, transfer that energy.
Yeah.
So it's not a case of me trying to work out, because that can make me feel anxious or upset. As soon as I start doing a reading, like, I was nervous about talking to you, all of a sudden 40 minutes has passed.
Right?
Right.
All of a sudden we're really good friends, and it's not that hard.
So it's just about transferring that energy, because if you sit and worry, panic, you don't know what to do. I think it's that feel the fear and do it anyway kind of concept. Yeah. And it's a kind of, I was actually quite nervous about connecting with you tonight and what am I going to say, what am I going to do, but it seems I've not had a problem.
Not at all. Not at all. You're wonderful. That comment you just made, feel the fear and do it anyway, has actually come up more than once in my life recently. So I'm just going to point out that that's a really big one for a lot of us, myself included. Like, stuff is scary, but do it anyway.
So thinking about it's harder than actually doing it. That's a fact. And it's only after you've done it, you then look back and think, what was I worried about?
Right? I love that. It's absolutely, I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. Well, if you were talking to Miss Gemma Collins from 5 years ago,
okay,
what kind of advice would you give her as she starts climbing into this spiritual practice space and starts owning her own business? Knowing what you know now, what kind of advice would you give you?
Right, so over the last 10 years especially, my time has been spent trying to be successful and earn money, and the wrong, probably not following my soul journey or my soul path.
Yeah.
Now, I believe that people can sometimes go through their full life and not even know what that is, right?
Yeah.
If I could tell myself 10 years ago what to do, I would have taken the action sooner. I would have had my own book about quick fixes. I would have had my own TV show, and I would just have went for it regardless of anybody else's opinion.
Yeah, that's great advice.
And you know something as well, I've not been that great with relationships. I've not really, you know, I would probably say that at my age and still going forward, I'm only at the very start of a long journey. So what I need to think about going forward is, I'm not the same person I was when I was 20 or in my 20s, nor my 30s, and now the 40s are going to bring different challenges and different people, different friends and different energies, right?
Right.
I only want to become the best version of myself that I can possibly be. I want to impact as many people's lives as I possibly can. But you know something? I would like to feel inner peace, and I think that it's very, very difficult to ever get there. So sometimes a bit of gratitude and thinking about what are you grateful for just now? Because I've still got some worries 10 years later that I had 10 years ago. But what difference did worrying make about it?
Right.
You know? So I would just say that if you've got a small thought or a small feeling or a small inclination to do anything, then what's the worst that can happen?
Right.
You're better to regret the chances that you took, or you take that. Well, you know what I'm saying. You're better to regret the things that you've tried to do or you've done than the things that you didn't and only thought about.
Gosh, ain't that the truth? I'd much rather look at it as I tried and it didn't work than I didn't try at all.
Exactly. And you know, see just now as well, you know, it's coming up to Christmas and I'm thinking, I'm thinking about my relationship, I'm thinking about, you know, my money, my work, where I'm at and what I'm doing. And you know, there's a million people out there that would probably die to be me.
Yeah. Right.
You know? And there's, you know, sometimes a lot of the time I think that social media, albeit yes, it's one of my biggest platforms and it's where I make my money, but I think it's causing a lot of problems. And, you know, I think it's just about getting it together with what's real and what's not real. So, for example, it's not real to have a fortune teller tell you your future. You create your own, right?
Right.
If you come for a tarot reading with me, then I will set my intention within 5 minutes anyway. And, you know, it's just about just being amazing, really. And it's about, if like, let's say you were good at well, I've had my makeup done today, right? So this isn't normally my face. My face is normally brighter. So let's say you were drawn to do makeup or change people's looks, then go and do that.
Yeah.
It's like if your mum or dad was a police officer or a lawyer and they're saying, go and be a police officer, go and be a lawyer, it's a great job, but you're actually a musician. You're like, what?
Right.
Like, so it's about like not going against your grain, not going against what you're drawn to. It's just about what makes you happy, what makes me happy, and let's just all be grateful for what we have instead of looking at other people's lives and thinking, look at them, and then that just is just no, that's just negative.
I totally agree. I think that's great advice.
Well, I don't know if I was away off on a tangent. When I feel passionate, that's when I lose my track.
Nope, that's perfect. I think it's wonderful. Is there any other advice that you would give somebody who's trying to do what you've done and create a large following and build up a spiritual practice, whether it be tarot or astrology or whatever form?
Some people have tried to connect with tarot and they're just not connecting with it. Now, just because I connect with a deck or I connect with tarot or I'm defined doesn't mean to say that that's what they should do.
Yeah.
One of the best and most important feedback that I've ever received was a woman who now works as a medium, but she works with colour, and she's decided just to do her own thing. So it doesn't matter how you're getting that information. It doesn't matter like what you're drawn to. It doesn't need to be anything to do with what the next person's doing, right? I would probably say try and be as unique and as individual as you possibly can. And I think I stand out from the crowd because I say just ask tarot. So that's not Gemma Collins that's speaking. That's the tarot cards. That's your cards, right?
Yeah.
In my head, that's how I see it. So I would say that the best advice for anybody is what you're waiting for. What are you doing? The same advice as you gave me. What are you doing? Get your YouTube channel up. Come on, don't talk about it.
Get on it.
Exactly.
Listen to it. So if nothing else, get on it so I can listen to it.
Well, it's a very, very long and complicated. I mean, see, really, like, if you look at the attention spans of people, we've been talking for, I'm not sure how long we've been talking now, but, there's people may watch this in a replay or go back and forward or listen to all different things to do with it. Now, see, really, right, it just depends, because we'll then attract the right people that was always meant to listen to us. But then you might have 2 or 3 of the people that keep an eye on me coming to you, wanting an interview.
True. Well, I definitely want anybody listening to it from my end to be able to find you, because I think what you're doing is absolutely fantastic. So obviously Facebook, so Ask Tarot, right? Is the
it's just do you know what it is? It's Just Ask Tarot, because it's not Gemma Collins. It's Just Ask, not a fortune teller, not anybody, because I give people a note of their cards. I give people that to research that, to look at it in a year, 2 years, half a year, whenever, and I give them their cards and I say, right, listen, you can change that energy. So back to where we're at, at the end of the day, this is going to be good for me, because people could watch this and think, oh, right, really, I didn't know she used it for business. Oh, right, okay. So, and for you, you're going to attract people that would like to be interviewed, because this is a form of advertising alone.
Sure, right? And I think it kind of even circles back to what you said earlier about your process that you have followed up until this point is making relationships and making connections. And so we get to bounce off of each other, and I've absolutely enjoyed my time with you, and so then I get exposed to your following, and you get exposed to mine, and it actually creates a very beautiful radiation of energy across different people that wouldn't normally have heard of you.
Exactly, and that's the same for you as well, because in Scotland, there may be somebody that's there may be somebody who's not on my tarot page, that's not a follower, who hasn't liked my page or shared my page, but they watch what I'm doing. So, they could even come and make contact with you, and the thing is, though, it's about just, it's just about all connections. And as long as we're all doing that from a good place, actually, then what harm can be done? But there is people out there that are, contacting my contacts and, sending links to their psychic pages through my people. And, there's going to be good and bad in everything. So if we set our intention to be just the most amazing girls that we can possibly be, and then therefore we will attract who we are supposed to attract.
Wow, talk about some killer insight, right? Well, if you want to connect with Gemma, you can do so on her website at justasktarot.co.uk, or look up Just Ask Tarot on Facebook. And if you're interested in getting more insight from other super successful spiritual-based business owners leading the charge, then go ahead and stay tuned for new episodes. Thank you for tuning in to 5D Marketing Secrets Radio. Please remember to subscribe and leave feedback. And if you'd like me to teach you 7 of the most powerful marketing strategies for spiritual business owners in 2019 free, then just go to 5dmarketingsecrets.com and simply download the full report. See you next time.